Hey, friend.
Hi.
First, before we get into our happy little monologue, because I do want to talk about something today, I want everyone, if you could show everyone the beautiful ring that
here.
Your fiance, Bubba, gave you. It's
Yes.
so gorgeous.
He did a good
so
job.
Gorgeous. He did an amazing job.
I was so surprised that I had no idea. Because if you know him, he's as country as the day is long. So I'm thinking,
Hey, listen, sometimes those are the best kind. I'm going to be
there's
honest.
no telling what you're going to get. So when I opened
No,
the box,
stunning.
I could have fallen on the floor. And at some point, I'll post the video so that you can see. You won't be able to hear just the Christmas music.
That's still a funny story, but yes, the Christmas music.
But yeah, so
He did a great job. I'm proud of him.
It was really good. You know, I'm just focusing on what makes me happy.
You know, that's it. Okay, so funny. This is kind of what I want to talk about today. So one of the things I've learned about myself is that over the years, I have been such a people pleaser. Yeah. And I don't know, you know that about me.
I know that
about
about
like,
you.
Shani, you have got to quit doing that. Like I always
say no.
I put other people's feelings before mine. I put everything. And it really hit me this week. You know, some things have happened this week that I'm like, no. Making this person happiest at my expense, I think is what I mean to say. Mm-hmm. Not that you don't want to help people, be good to people, make sure their feelings are felt and valid, but what about me? Yeah. So, I love that you brought that up because I think that's one thing as women that especially you get to a certain point in life and you're kind of like, hold on a second, I don't want to do that. Or
if it doesn't bring me joy or if it's not something that I absolutely positively have to do, I don't have a problem saying
I don't have to not voice my opinion or express my feelings on a subject to save yours and make you feel better about it.
I've never had that problem anyway, but
girl, you ain't lying.
I've never had that problem, but
I have.
I remember years and years and years ago, my very first mother-in-law, loved her to pieces. Love her.
Very first mother.
I know, my very first mother-in-law, like there's been many. But I remember she was probably in her 40s then, Sandy, I love you. She was probably in her 40s then, and she said to me, when I asked her about going somewhere or doing something, she said, I am not ever going to do anything ever again that I don't want to do. And I'm like, we have to do things all the time we don't want to do.
But do we?
But now that I'm on the other side of that and I'm thinking about it, I'm like, no truer words have ever been spoken. Because if I don't want to go to a kid's birthday party, I'm not going. If I don't want to go to your, bar mitzvah or whatever, I don't care what it is. If I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it.
And you are good about that.
I am good about saying no.
That's my biggest fault.
Because you'll say, I'm just going to run by for a minute. And I'm like, no, I'm already home in my pajamas. I'm not leaving the house. I'm not doing it.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's like, you're so good at it. And I'm right the opposite. I'm like, of course I'll do that for you. Of course I'll be there. Of course I'll do whatever. Yep. And I think it hit me this week that I'm like, wait a second. I don't have to do this anymore. I don't have to save people's feelings at the expense of myself. And I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. Mm-hmm. And God bless America. Why did it take 50 years for me to figure that out?
I mean, and it's when you cross that bridge, I'm not saying it's not scary or it's not hard to say that you're not going to do things anymore. It's just you get to a point in your life when you realize that you've probably got more days behind you than you do ahead of you. So pick wisely. Pick wisely.
You're so right.
If it doesn't bring you joy and if it doesn't make you happy.
You know what would bring me joy is if you had a wedding so I could be your maid.
No, I'm not doing that. That would not bring me joy. That would not bring me joy. I would never, ever, ever do that again.
All right.
But,
one thing I think that'll bring us both joy is our next guest, Executive Director Kelsey Gonzalez for Lake Cares
She's
Food
doing
Pantry.
Amazing things that brings joy to everybody.
That is something, and I can't wait to talk to her. I did a story for Style before the holidays, and really some of the things she told me, and just they do amazing work, and so I'm excited to talk to her today.
Welcome to the Style Podcast, presented by Plaza Cadillac and Plaza Lincoln, where our drive to be the best starts with you.
Experience the calm and serenity of a new Lincoln today. With over 100 new Lincolns in stock, you're sure to find one you love and enjoy financing offers as low as 0%. Or take advantage of attractive offers totaling over $5,000 on our best-selling Corsair and Nautilus, the 25 Motor Trend SUV of the year. We also offer a huge selection of locally owned certified Lincolns with a 6-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Plaza Lincoln, across from the Leesburg Airport. Our drive to be the best starts with you.
Welcome to the Style Podcast. Today joining us, we have Kelsey Gonzalez from Lake Care's Food Pantry. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
You do some amazing stuff in the community around Lake County. So tell us about the Food Pantry.
Sure. So we are a homegrown idea. Back in 2009, a group of ladies got together and said that they had a mission to feed families around the holidays. Their goal was 75 people or 75 families, and they rented a U-Haul, gathered food from their churches, and got together. Within the first 30 minutes, the food was gone. And that was kind of when Lake Cares was birthed. They were like, okay, we have a problem. What are we going to do about this? And here we are, fast forward, and we are now been in our new home. We did a capital campaign for a 22,000 square foot facility. We now have our pantry, warehouse, and offices all underneath one roof over in Mount Dora, and we are able to serve the triple or quadruple amount of people that we once did at our old location.
So, and now it's progressed. It's not just the holidays now.
No.
Correct.
It's
any
every
time,
single day.
Every single day.
Single day.
And so on an average day, how many people do you think that?
We are doing distributions on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, double on Wednesday, and then we have 8 satellite locations that we bring the food actually to different spots in Lake County. For those who can't exactly get to Mount Dora, we bring it to them. So on a regular distribution at our Mount Dora location, we will see about 300 people every morning.
Wow.
So that is by appointment. We never want anybody to have to get there super early at dark to maybe get food. That's not our goal. Our goal is just like a hair appointment or a doctor's appointment. We want to make sure that we can visit with you, serve you, and make sure you have what you need. So we do have everyone schedule an appointment with us, and they come in, we interview them every single time. We want to know what brought them there that day. How can we help them get out of their situation? Because our goal is to get them back to self-sufficiency.
I love that. And I did an article for Style before the holidays, and we were talking back and forth about it. And I think that was one of the things that stuck out to me the most is that there's a need, you've met the need, but what got them there, and that then you try to help them get back on their feet in general.
We do.
Which is amazing.
We do. And that can be anything from, let's say, they had a medical procedure that they weren't expecting and they didn't have insurance. So we have insurance navigators that we work with to help try to bridge that gap. We have people who were needing vet services, so veterans. They are just at their wits' end. They aren't tech savvy. We have someone who will come in and sit with them and help them go through that long application process or go through calling, and they volunteer their time.
That's what I was wondering. They're all volunteers.
So the majority of our help and our success is because of our volunteers. Last year, I actually brought some numbers. Last year, just pulled these, we had 675 people come through our doors to donate their time.
Wow.
Huge. It's huge. We could not do what we do. They make us look great. We do have staff. There is 15 of us. 3 of us are full-time. That's myself, our director of development, and our driver. Everybody else is part-time. Let me tell you something. They don't get paid a whole lot. They're there because they want to make a difference, and they are our true rock stars. So 675 people came in and volunteered their time, which was about 27,399 hours of service. So because they gave that much time to us, we were able to keep our administrative costs low. And that is why we're able to be so successful at serving the people of Lake County.
Now, how do you get your food and the items that are you dependent on donations?
We are. So we are part of a program called Grocery Alliance, and that is a partnership with Second Harvest Food Bank of Central Florida. So I always love to educate people. Food banks feed food pantries, and food pantries feed people. We are a food pantry, so we're that middleman of getting it from the warehouse per se. We get it, and then we feed it to the people.
Okay,
that's really good information.
That actually
I didn't know how that works.
Okay, so people will go to a food bank to pick up food to distribute to the
correct. So like if you were to drive up to Second Harvest Food Bank in Central Florida, you wouldn't necessarily get the same experience you would get with me. We're more intimate, more personal. We're going to be able to give you everything from hygiene products to your baby's formula to diapers to your regular food. Even senior citizens come to us. They're more usually on a limited fixed income. They're usually by themselves, and they just can't quite make it, with what they're able to get from the government. So we're there to help bridge that gap. I do love to remind people that we are a food supplement, not a food replacement, and we do our best to try to educate them on other food pantries in the area as well.
What kind of stuff do you take in? Like what are people, are you getting that people need the most, do you think?
We really try to put a heavy focus on a healthy diet. So many times people living in poverty aren't choosing the best choices. So many times they think a Slurpee and a hot dog from 7-Eleven is a meal. And, we really try to educate them through our education kitchen that, even with stuff that you get from our food pantry, let's find a better way to not only make it go further, but fill you up longer. So we try to really ask people to think about that. Canned proteins, things like that. We really want to do, which are our biggest, I would say my biggest thing that I'm most proud of at our food pantry is that we offer fresh vegetables and fruits. We really put an emphasis on that. We write for grants for that. We work with local farmers here in Lake County to make sure if it didn't quite make it because it wasn't quite perfect enough for the grocery store and the display that they have, that we'll take it. We'll take it if it's a little crooked or ugly.
Oh, yeah,
or not
definitely.
perfect, let us do that.
I imagine there's a lot of waste that goes on around the country for things like that. And I do love that because I think people seem to forget that it's a running thing that you'll hear someone say, if you want to eat healthy, you need to go to the outside aisles of a grocery store, right? But those outside aisles typically are the ones that cost the most. Right. So if you're not someone that has endless funds, or even you're just barely making it, you're going to go to the section in the middle.
The cheaper.
Yeah. And, so many times people think, oh, I want to donate food, and they will drop off macaroni and cheese. Well, if you've ever made a box of macaroni and cheese, you need milk and margarine. So we always make sure we give that out at distributions. We always give them milk, margarine, and eggs because eggs can be such a good source of protein as well. So you may think, what if they're allergic to eggs or milk? We ask those questions because, again, waste is a big thing for us. We don't want to give you something that you can't use. We even ask, do you have a gluten allergy? Are you diabetic? We want to know because we don't want to give you something that you're going to turn around and be back in the same spot when you drove to us. So it's important for us to really get on the same level with our clients and really understand what their needs are. And to me, that is also giving the clients a chance of having a voice, and they get to choose kind of what makes sense for their family. Same thing to religious reasons. Sometimes people can't have pork. We want to know. We don't want to give you something that you cannot use. It makes no sense.
It doesn't make sense. And I love it because I think too, there's a stigma a lot of times when people are in need of something.
For sure.
And I love that you humanize it from every angle.
For sure.
You have a conversation, make them feel comfortable.
We do.
And that's a really amazing thing.
We do. We have an iPad that they get to shop from. So it's someone's job on our end to update that with different donations that come in, things that we do purchase. So people will maybe give a cash donation. We turn around, we buy things in bulk. And back to our partnership with Second Harvest with our Grocery Alliance program that I mentioned, we go around every single day and we go to Publix, we go to Winn-Dixie, well, now Aldi's because they're all converting, Target, Walmart, things like that, Wawa, Chick-fil-A,
I love Wawa.
Starbucks. We get all the things that didn't sell in their case. We get to go and pick it up. Everything that me and you may have put back because we're like, oh, do we really need that T-bone that was $40 or should we put it back? We see stuff come through, that didn't sell that they have to get off their shelves because they're a business.
Because so long, for so long, I used to always wonder what happens to that food that, it's still good, but like I can't imagine throwing away perfectly good food because it didn't sell that day, especially things in the deli or bakery. Yeah.
It's so much waste. And they can't predict who's going to be into this particular thing. So it's a blessing that we're able to have a functioning truck because you have to meet requirements. You have to have a refrigerated truck. You have to have certain health code violations, at minimum, you have to keep up with the standards and everything like that. So pass all of your cooler and freezer inspections. And they come and inspect and make sure that we're doing what we say what we're doing, and we're doing what we're supposed to do with the product once we get it. You can't just go and resell it or something like that. It's absolutely a big no-no. And we have been passing with flying colors since we've had a partnership with them for over, a decade. So we're really pleased to be able to do that and have that opportunity because that is where the majority of our food comes from. Yes, we write for grants. Yes, people are supportive and drop off. One of my favorite ones too is our buy one, give one. So our BOGO. So instead of, me and you may not need 2 loaves of bread. So on your way to the grocery store, you see these ads, you go and you get them, but on your way home, you swing by and you drop off your
That's such a
your other
cool
one.
That is
idea.
a good idea.
Buy one, give one. Instead of buy one, get one, buy one, give one.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've thought about that a few times. I'm like, okay, I don't need 2 loaves of bread, but
I know, and actually sometimes you end up freezing one of them or
I know,
something,
and
and
it's
then you
never quite
open
the
the
same.
deep
Yeah.
freeze
No,
and
it's
you're
not
like,
the
there's
same.
like 5 loaves
Yeah,
there, and you're like,
I know.
oh my gosh,
Why did I do
not the
that?
same when you thaw it out.
But
Yeah.
I'm that sucker that goes somewhere and is like, if it's buy one get one free,
I gotta
I've
get
gotta
it.
get it. You know,
100%. I know. And we're all wired that way. And then we end up throwing it away ourselves, or we get that spring cleaning feeling and we're like putting in a box to donate anyways. So we really try to ask people to really pay attention to the dates, because we do hand check every single piece of food that's donated that comes through. We won't give anybody anything that's expired. And our rule of thumb is if you and I won't eat it, then we're not going to give it to somebody else just because it's there.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'd like to thank Plaza Lincoln and Plaza Cadillac. We'll be right back.
Plaza Cadillac in Leesburg is your destination for luxury. Choose from our wide selection of gas-powered SUVs and sedans with attractive savings and rates starting at 2.9%, or make the move to electric and also take advantage of these limited-time offers. Plaza owners enjoy a wide range of benefits, such as 4 years free maintenance, free car washes, and more. Visit us today to experience the Plaza difference. Plaza Cadillac, across from the Leesburg Airport. Our drive to be the best starts with you.
Welcome back to the Style Podcast. Today we're talking to Kelsey Gonzalez with Lake Care's Food Pantry. On the break, we were talking a little bit about I'm a part of an organization called Altrusa International of Lake County, and we partner with some of the local schools, because you don't think about kids are eating free lunches and breakfasts at school maybe, but on the weekends they're going hungry.
For sure.
So we provide food for bags that go home with those kids on the weekends, like non-perishables. And tell me a little bit about some of what you guys do with that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. So we do the exact same thing. We call it our backpack program, and it gets the name because we have 15 participating schools. We work with the liaisons or the guidance counselors. If there's a family that they see come in need, even throughout the year, they don't have to start at the beginning and stay with us. Things can get better, and we want to know those stories too. But if things get worse, if things aren't really back to where they need to be, we continue to bring that. So every Friday we'll bring food for Saturday and Sundays for those who are going to have to rely on the in-school free and reduced lunch for breakfast and lunch Monday through Friday. We want to make sure they have something for Saturday and Sunday. And we do that with, like I said, 15 participating schools. We bring them everything that they're going to need from breakfast, lunch, and then, of course, a snack. And then a lot of times, too, is we make sure everything's Pop-Top friendly or kid-friendly, because if mom and dad are at work, we don't want them to be unsafe in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And that's another feature that we do at our education kitchen, that we'll bring families in to teach them how to use household equipment safely, because we just, because of our new building, we're able to now offer things like that.
That is amazing.
Yeah, we just want to make
great
sure.
idea.
It is.
Because some of the bags that, or some of the donations we've gotten for the bags that we send home, like you said, macaroni and cheese, they'll send home a box of it. And I'm like, okay, first of all, the kids in elementary school aren't using the stove. We don't think they are. Maybe they are using the stove, and they don't have milk, and they don't have margarine to put in their macaroni and cheese. So the little ones that you pop in the microwave are better.
Sure.
But you also look at the nutritional value of what's in the bag, because like you said, peanut butter, stuff like that,
protein.
that it's a protein for them that keeps them from being hungry. But at the same time, those kids, if you give them something weird that's not what they like, they're not going to eat it.
I'm going to tell you, we tried tuna one time. We're like, let's just try it. I love tuna as a kid, but I also love carrot cake and weird things too that most kids don't, right? Yeah. And it was a hit.
Was it?
It was a hit.
See, I steered away from that for a little bit, because I'm like, I don't know if they're going to eat it, but I was a weird kid that ate tuna sandwiches or whatever I'd make it.
One fish I will eat. That's the only one. Like, I love a tuna sandwich and things like that, but you take me to a seafood restaurant.
So I might, because now they have those little tuna pouches or the Pop-Top
super
cans.
nice.
Totally easy to use.
Different flavors. I know, it's a lot of fun. So if you can just show them, let them try it. A lot of times they don't have an opportunity to try it.
Yeah.
So this might be the first time
they don't know what they don't know.
Right.
So what are some of the things that you think of when people are out and about looking for donation items like that? What do you think, like some unusual stuff that you would never think to grab for something like that? What do you think people should be on the lookout for?
Sure. So, we are talking about children, and, we try to do our best with what we can, because we're bringing it to them at 2:00 on a Friday. We don't have refrigeration. How long is their bus ride home, right? Because it hours. So because we want to keep everything food safe, we try to make sure that if we are bringing them fruit, it's either fruit cups or it's a banana or it's an orange or an apple or something that can be out for a little while. But something to just keep in mind is, like you mentioned, the peel off, add water, mac and cheese cup. They are a little bit more expensive, but man, it's worth it. Try to find them on BOGO, so you can buy one, give one.
Yeah,
they are.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. I'm going to start really paying attention to that because sometimes when it is BOGO at Publix, I'll go in and I'll be like, well, I really don't eat that. But
sure,
even, maybe here and there, but if I buy it, then I have the extra one.
Right.
And what about, so you guys take in toiletries?
We do.
So toilet paper, paper towels, toothpaste, things like that.
We do deodorant. Shaving cream. We always, one of our programs is working with Career Source to get them back to work. So we will help them redo their resume. We will help them, look for different people who are hiring based on their tenure of what they're, used to doing or what they're good at. But we also want to make sure that they're job ready. So razors, shaving cream, hair products for women, feminine products, diapers for babies, toilet paper, paper towels, laundry soap, dish soap, everything that you and I probably just go and get when we need it and take for granted. But we all know how expensive those things can be too. So just anything down to Q-tips, hair combs, just anything to help them feel better. And even for our folks that are living on the streets or homeless or couch surfing, wet wipes. They may not have access to a shower every single day. So we really try to encourage baby wipes, wet wipes, things like that so they can stay fresh, clean, and feel good about themselves.
I love that.
I know. That is a good idea. I would have never thought of the wet wipes part. Yeah. In your area, do you find that you're servicing a lot of the homeless community, not just, like walk-up service?
For sure. We
how do they make appointments
so
if
they
they're
don't.
homeless?
So because of that, we see them every single week. So they can come to us. We do have to put some rules into place or we'll just, run out. So if you are homeless, we actually have 2 classifications of homeless. Homeless with shelter or homeless without shelter, because what you need at a hotel is going to be a lot different than what you need if you're living on the streets.
Right.
So again, back to their specific needs, it's really important to us to make sure that we listen and we get them, what they're in need of. So we are seeing an uptick of that. More and more families are living underneath one roof together, and in hotel rooms, one room hotel rooms, and there's 8 people, one bed, one bathroom.
Well,
can you imagine?
I can remember again when I was teaching. The homeless classification isn't just for people that live on the streets and things. If you were, a child
Displaced.
and a parent, and you were displaced, and you were staying with a friend.
Yep, technically.
Technically, they were considered homeless because that's not their
Correct.
home. It was out of the goodness of someone's heart.
Correct. So
And that's a lot of that goes on.
It is. And that's why I think when we get to know them and they get to not only share their story with us, but they get to trust us. They get to trust us with information because we'll say, because we kept notes on them, hey, how's it going living with grandma and grandpa? Are you still there? And the fact that they know that we kept a note to remember to ask sometimes brings tears to their eyes. Like, oh, wow, you did want to know, not just
treated them like a human.
Right.
It makes it
does.
That's a huge thing.
It does.
Because so many of them probably feel horrible about themselves.
They do. I always tell everybody it's like calling 911, right? When you have to call the food pantry, you're in an emergency, you're probably at the lowest point of your life to have to call and ask for someone to help you feed yourself or your family, your kids. A lot of times people will feed their animals before they feed themselves. So we collect dog food, cat
I was wondering
food.
that.
We do.
Okay, good.
Because when they come through and say, I'm like, do you receive Social Security? Yeah, I do, but I bought it all in pet food because I didn't want my dog to go hungry. And I'm, well, when's the last time you ate? A week ago. We're like, no. I appreciate that because I love animals too.
You cry a lot because
We do. I know.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know.
My heart.
I know.
It breaks me.
I know. And sometimes their animal's all they have, so I get it. I get their why, but they don't have to ask why, or feel like they have to do that when they come and see us. So care is in our name. We mean it. We mean what we say. We mean what we do. And last year, we served 74,998 individuals, which was 20,792 families, which is huge. You would never think that many people in Lake County are dependent on services like ours.
No, but I do know that the elderly especially.
For sure.
You know, you look at people that they are on a fixed income.
Right.
They're living from their Social Security check to their Social Security check. These same people are having to figure out property taxes every year if they own their home, and then the price of things goes up.
Oh, yeah.
And so what they used to be able to get with, let's say, a couple of $100s for the month, they can't get near what they used to.
Sure.
And that makes a huge difference.
For sure, even rent, no wonder everyone's stacked up living with each other. They can't afford it on their own, so maybe together they can have at least shelter. That's better than having your family out on the street, things like that. So I get it, and I give them credit. A lot of these people are doing the best they can with what they got, and so I'm so glad we're one less burden they have to worry about when they come and see us. You focus on getting that job and getting your roof secured over your head by let us help you in this moment to put food on the table. So that's why we exist. We never want to, be dependent for those who can get out of it. But we always want to let them know that we're here in case anybody is ever in this situation. My favorite thing to tell my staff and the volunteers is I feel like all of us are either 3 paychecks away or one bad accident from being, maybe having to call a pantry.
It's true. Mm-hmm. But what you're giving people is hope.
For sure.
It's something, and you're not taking their dignity away from them. You're giving them hope that there is hope. There is something else. Yeah. We'll be right back with more from Lake Cares in just a moment.
Get all the Social Security disability benefits you deserve with disability consultant Jeff Bell. Our experienced Florida certified ADR handle claims on a contingency fee basis, meaning you don't pay unless we recover money for you. We have established a strong reputation as a firm that cares and provides the best care to its clients. Call us today or visit cbell.com.
Welcome back to the Style Podcast. Lake Cares Food Pantry is with us today. And Kelsey, talk to us about what's going on in the community. And when I mean the community, I mean everybody that's in the community that's impacted.
The businesses too. Like we were saying, we're realtors, say it correctly, with Gus Grizzard at ERA Grizzard Realty.
Which are great supporters, by the way.
That is, yes, it is a constant thing that they're doing something with Lake Cares. They really believe in it. So
They do. We've only been in our new location for 6 months, and they've been twice with big groups to help and make an impact.
I love that.
Because of groups like ERA, we can't survive without them. So having the all hands on deck, it's a great opportunity for businesses to come in and support. At the end of the day, the same mission is to better our community. So we have realtors from all realtors, right? You taught me something today.
Well, because
thank you.
I love me some Steve McDonald, boo.
Friend.
But and I'll never forget. Like he told me, and sometimes it's funny. I'll say realtor, and people look at me funny. I'm like, no.
Right.
That's right.
That's how I'm supposed to say
gotta
it.
say it the way Steve wants us.
That's right. So we have, we've been blessed with so many that want to get involved in different ways. And one of my most favorite competitions per se that's coming up is our 6th annual Tri-City Fire Department food drive. That's coming up very fast, January 31st. We have not necessarily a business, but businesses are backing their cities. So it's going to be the city of Eustis, the city of Mount Dora, and the city of Tavares. For example, Cecil Clark Chevrolet, all the way in Leesburg over here, is backing Tavares because it's the closest one. And so they have been filling their showroom with food for this initiative.
I was just good at that.
But really he did it over the holidays, so it's businesses like that are able to keep us afloat, and really warms my heart because I personally don't have a story. Everybody thinks that if you work there, you should have your own story. I grew up with always giving back, and we were a family that always just kind of did the right thing. You need to invest in your community, and that was instilled in me from my mom and dad. So I never had to depend on a food pantry myself, but my friends did, and I never wasn't not friends with them because of that.
I think that is your story. And I love that. And kudos to your parents, because I think that's one thing as a mom, you think, I hope I'm raising good humans. So, kudos to your parents for teaching that.
I agree. And same thing with my kids. They come in, school's out, they think they can sleep in. No way. They're putting on their name tag and they're volunteering, and they love it. So they think they're going to work. So, again, these businesses that are supporting these different fire departments, it's a beautiful city community thing. Chick-fil-A in Mount Dora, they're a food collection site that is going to help the Mount Dora branch of the fire department, things like that. And then even Lake Tech in Eustis, they're a big supporter that's backing the Eustis Fire Department.
I love it. Maybe next year, I think we should make it, and it doesn't sound as good. It's Tri-City sounds amazing, really quadruple city, but we need to get Leesburg invested, or that's because that's an amazing thing. And then the bragging rights,
and
I
that's
can hear
the best
I can hear it
thing.
in my head now.
Yeah.
The different fire departments. Well, we want,
and that's what I'm saying. It's the healthiest, most friendliest competition because they all have the same end game. They want to better their community, and we're able to do that. And I'm glad you mentioned Leesburg. We have partners in Leesburg that are other food pantries that when we have an abundance, we share with. So there's great food pantries here in Leesburg that we are so proud to share with that are doing amazing work. Anytime they get something, that they don't have quite the room to store, they call us too. So
which ones are they?
We have the Christian Care Center, and then also correct, and then Leesburg Food Bank. And so Mr. Don over there, he's done a wonderful job many years, and does a very, very nice job. And he's got a great partnership with a lot of people over in the villages, and so he's always very kind and keeps us in mind. And so we are all doing the same work. It is not a competition. We are trying to all serve the people of Lake County.
I love that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing. You hate when you hear that there's an insecurity with food or anything
Absolutely.
like that, but the fact that you do something about it and you can do something about it every day, that must be an amazing feeling every day knowing that you're going
get to
home.
wake up every day and help people.
It is. Yeah. And so you mentioned earlier, do you cry all the time? I try hard not to. I know. I try not to.
Especially kids and animals. I'm a sucker.
I know.
Like a sucker for it. It just upsets
or even
me
the
so
elderly.
Oh,
yes. Imagine your grandma having to
Well, and I
call
said,
me,
my sister and I were just talking last night about that. When someone is not kind or not good to the elderly, children, or animals, the most vulnerable in our society. We had Denise Burry on.
Yeah.
And I love Denise.
We
and she
help
does
support their
Forward
program
Pass,
too.
And I just, because I was one of those things that I didn't know until I was told that at 18, you're out of foster care.
Yeah.
That's it, you're done.
Like, goodbye.
And I thought,
good luck.
you're still a child.
You are. I agree. So that's another great example. We support programs like Denise's at Forward Pass. So she's not a school or she's not a, community resource center or something like that. But we do have them stop by on a regular basis to help their kids fill their little homes, their little tiny homes that they now have, the beautiful ones that are being built. It's awesome. So again, there's not a blueprint for what we do and how we need to do it. I mean, yes, there's rules. We have to follow things like that. But, we want to brainstorm together. We want to make sure our community is strong. And I have the pleasure every single day, like you said, of waking up and leading the charge, and my team, my staff, and then the volunteers. So we have something good at Lake Cares, and people want to be there.
You're touching so many parts of the community.
Yes,
like this impacts
I'm very proud of it.
Every part of the community. So what a blessing.
It is. And so I can't take all the credit. I've only been there for 5 years. I got to bring us to this new chapter with a new building. I'm very proud of that success. But again, back to when I first told you, those ladies who had this idea,
they had a vision.
They knew that this wasn't getting any better anytime soon. And it's unfortunately, we're not quite there yet.
What other events do you have coming up besides the Tri-City?
Sure. In February, we have what we called Spread the Love, and that is with Berkshire Hathaway, Realtor Brittany Knight, and Magnolia Closing Company. And when they do this, I don't know what year we're on with them. They've been doing it for many years, but that is a peanut butter and jelly drive. So spread the love.
Oh, I love that. That's a cute
So
idea.
it's a fun morning. We're going to actually host it at our new location because we can now. Before we would always have to find a place to do it, but they're going to have a coffee truck there. There's usually like balloons and stuff for the kids to do, face painting. She always does a very nice job putting it together. And then this is what we turn around and help support our backpack program that I mentioned, as well as they've been so successful that we do it in the summer as well. So for the 10-week school is closed, even Christmas holidays, Thanksgiving holidays, spring break, we are feeding them for 5 days at a time, a week at a time.
And then you have your summer vacation,
Correct.
which was always, I know, when I taught school, I do remember at the Villages Elementary, families would come in. You're not going to send 2 months worth of
No, you can't.
things. You can't.
Yeah, you can't.
So what they would do is it would be once a week. They would come in and refill it.
That's what we do.
love that.
This helps really get a good jump start for the summer because, I can't believe we're already through the holidays and it's already time to think about summer. But this particular
And that
event
is
helps us.
February
21st,
Okay.
and that's from 10 to 12 at our location in Mount Dora, 4500 County Road 19A, Mount Dora.
I know. Like I said, I was over there delivering magazines for Style a couple weeks ago, and I saw it. I was like, oh my goodness, it's a beautiful location.
I haven't seen it in person yet, so
We always say stop in. You can book a tour on our website, and we can show you around because we never want someone to drive by and be like, I wonder what goes on in there. Come in, come see what goes on in there. And then you'll never drive by wondering what they're doing in there. You'll drive by and be like, oh, I know what's happening there. There's good stuff happening in there. So we love to show off our new place. Please, please, please come by. Anybody else can feel free to come by, book it on our website. We would love that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Kelsey,
And thank you, Kelsey, for all the stuff that you're doing in the community. It really is an amazing blessing to so many people, and we appreciate you. So you can come talk to
Really,
us
we do.
anytime.
All right.
But thank you for joining us on the Style Podcast. We'll see you next time.